Hello, hello. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm really excited to do another solo episode, another episode where it's just you and I hanging out, and another episode where we are digging in and doing the work together. I don't know why I wasn't doing these with you before. I mean, we did kinda, but my gosh, the response from y'all about how much you love these episodes where we're going through and doing the work together, because of course, it feels just like you're in Women Rising, the event. It feels just like you're in the Brazen Sisterhood. It feels like we're working together, right? So before we go any further, of course, I'm going to remind you, we are getting in on just weeks away from Women Rising. If you have not gotten your seat yet, if you haven't claimed your seat, what are you doing? Get over there. It is 4 days with four guest speakers, which has never happened before in Women Rising. And it's the very special Brazen Sisterhood edition. Go get your ticket. Go get your seat. Remember, not only are you getting live access for the 4 day event, but you're also receiving the replays and the bonuses and all the extras, all of that. You're receiving it. You're getting your access hub. So if you're not able to be there every single day for the live event, which I hope you are, I hope you can join us. I would love to meet you and chat with you and just go through the whole experience with you. But if you're not able to be there every single day, that's okay. You get the replay. All right. So anyways, back to what we're talking about. This actually has to do with the Brazen Sisterhood because our theme for today's call is the exact same theme that we had in the most recent Brazen Sisterhood monthly call. So every month inside the Brazen Sisterhood, which is my private community, we have monthly calls and all the women vote on the topic. You probably already know this, most likely, right? But just in case you didn't. So we are going to be focusing on something so important. It's something that I've been talking to all my one-on-one clients about a little bit, but especially one. She is one of my one-on-one clients this year. She is so strategic and organized with how she approaches each of the new years. And I think it's such a beautiful ceremony and process, a ritual that she goes through every year. And she already told me, she's like, I'm taking the last 3 weeks of the year off and I am going to go through. And she has all these categories and she just sits down with herself. She reflects, she releases, she sets intentions. It's gorgeous. It's fucking beautiful. And guess what? She feels successful every single year because she's setting herself up for success. This, what we're going to do today is going to help you get so clear, just like I was talking about, and it's going to help you feel really excited. It's going to help you feel really empowered. I actually wrote down here, I'm going to give you the 4 words I wrote down for today's call, and I'm going to use my notebook quite a bit for this one because I want to make sure I'm covering everything. There's so many juicy pieces here. But these are the 4 words that I am setting as an intention for what you receive by the end of today's episode. This is how I want you to feel. And if you want to set the intention with me, please do, right? You do whatever feels right. But I want you to get done with this feeling really fucking clear. I want there to be so much clarity. Now, maybe you come back and listen to this episode a few times. Maybe you listen to it and you sit down with the questions and exercises, because yes, there's going to be stuff like that in here. Maybe you sit down with those later and that brings the clarity. But regardless, I want you by the end of this call, by the end of this episode, to be like, holy shit, I feel really good. All right. So clarity. Number 2, I want you to feel really full of joy, really excited for your life. I want you to feel like, damn, this feels good. I feel good. I'm excited about my life. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for my goals. I want there to be so much joy. I want you to feel really empowered. Empowered. I want you, when you leave today's episode, today's call, I'm going to call it a call and an episode interchangeably through the whole thing, just so you know. But I want you to walk away feeling like, damn, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm headed. I feel damn good. I know I'm capable. I know I can do it. I want there to be so much empowerment that it's oozing out of you. Okay. And I've said this word like 25 different times, but excited. I just want you to be fucking excited. Right. We do this work not so we can continue this work for the rest of our fucking lives and stay on the hamster wheel of healing and growth and expansion, which if you're like me, you're always going to be reaching for more. Self expansion and development is probably part of how you're fucking built. Samesies, right? And I want you to be able to step off of that off of that self-development wheel so you can enjoy the fruits of your fucking labor. Okay. I want you to claim your victories. I want you to sit in those moments, those glimmers, those exciting parts of your life. So that's what we're looking at: clarity, joy, empowerment, and excitement. And before we start, if you want to, you don't have to, but you can. This is something I always have the women in the Brazen Sisterhood do. The women that I work with one-on-one, we do it a lot too, is setting the space. You want to go set your space? So I already have incense going. I already set my intention before I pressed record. I already know what's going on my end, but I want you to do it for you. Maybe you have a smell, right? That's one of the reasons I like incense is I like to have a certain smell. It sets the tone, right? So a good example is when I'm working with clients, there's a specific type of incense. There's a few of them actually that I like to use. And it just puts me in that zone where I'm like, okay, I'm about to jump on with this client. And because I always do the pre-work right before I get on a call with a client, about 30 minutes up until then. And it helps me get in the zone, right? Another thing is sound. Maybe you want to put on some meditative music or some sound healing or some fucking Slipknot. I don't fucking know. Maybe you want to throw in some Dolly Parton. Like that's where my music taste is. Like, are we listening to Slipknot today or Dolly Parton? Like figure out what you want to have as a sound that helps you get into the zone and really remind yourself, mind, body, and soul that you're here and you're doing this work and it's intentional. Set the vibe for yourself. Okay. Let's see, what are we going to do next? Oh, I want to remind you to grab something to drink. If you're listening to this and you're driving, this might not apply. But if you're in a space where you can press pause right now and go fill up your drink, go get something to drink, whether it's warm, whether it's water, whatever it is, just go grab it so you have it on you because this is going to be a lot of work. It's going to feel good, but it's going to be a lot of work and I want you to have that on hand for yourself, okay? Okay, hopefully you pressed pause, that is, and you are back. And we're going to jump right in with breath work. Now, breath work is one of the foundations of the work that we all do, the work that I teach. And, there's so many different methods and ways to do it. And I think that it's really important that you go find your own and you build your own. I want you to, as much as you can, see it as an experiment, play with it. There's breath work that's so easy. Maybe you just inhale through your nose, letting your stomach expand for 4 seconds. You hold it at the top for 4 seconds, and then you exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds, and you just pay attention to how you feel. Maybe you make your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. So you can really, like one of my mentors says, signal safety to your body. Love that she says that. Such a good way to say it. I want you to pay attention to what breath work works for you. What we're going to do today is one of my favorites. It feels really good. It's also really good for stretching, wakes you up in the morning, get you ready for bed at night. There's a lot of different ways you can use this, okay? So I'm going to push back in my seat a little bit so I have some space here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it slow a few times together, and then we're going to go a little bit faster so you can get your rhythm down, right? So first thing is you're going to want to sit up straight. Go ahead. If you can put your feet flat on the ground, even fucking better. But sit up straight for me, as straight as you can. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through our nose, and a few things are going to happen while we're inhaling. I want you to push your tummy out on purpose. Help your stomach expand when you inhale, just so we can really get in the rhythm there. So we're breathing even deeper. And I also want you to put your shoulders back, tits up, babe. Tits up, chin up, shoulders back when you inhale. Okay. And then as you exhale, just bring your shoulders back to a normal space and just sit comfortably straight up. Okay. We're going to do this first piece. Ready? We're going to inhale. 3, 2, 1. Stomach out, tits up, chin up, exhale. Just come back to our normal seated position. Okay. So we got that first part down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more. When we exhale, I want you to go through your mouth and go as slow and controlled as you can. Okay, just give it a shot. Just see how it feels. So again, inhaling through the nose, letting the stomach expand and maybe even helping it a little bit, letting those shoulders go back, tits up, chin up, maybe even hold that for a few seconds. And then when you exhale, coming back to a normal seated position and also making sure that you're exhaling through the mouth, nice and slow and controlled. Right? Let's go. 3, two, one. Nice. If you make sound when you exhale, fucking 5 extra points, 5 gold stars. Okay? Trust me on that one. It feels so good. Such a great habit to get into. All right, we're going to add another piece to this now. When we exhale, I want you to roll your shoulders in and kind of ball into yourself. All right, that's what we're going to do on the exhale. So previously, we've just been coming back to a normal seated position. Now you're going to roll the shoulders in and just kind of roll into yourself, kind of almost hug yourself. And if you feel like it, fucking do hug yourself. Maybe wrap your arms around yourself. When's the last time you did that? I'll do it with you. All right, are you ready? Sit up nice and straight. 3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm. Sit like this for just a second now. You might take a few just more natural breaths as you're kind of rolled into yourself and you're hugging yourself, but just be here for a second. And then here on the count of 3, we're going to go ahead and inhale again and exhale. And we're going to go ahead and roll into ourselves again. But when you're done, I'm going to ask you to just come back up to a seated position. So maybe you just exhale, give yourself a hug, roll into yourself for 3 seconds, and then sit back into a normal seated position. Okay. And again, if you're driving, maybe fucking don't do this. Maybe not a great idea. All right. Inhale. Oh, sorry, I didn't give you a countdown. And exhale. All right, back into a seated position. I totally faked you out. I didn't even give you a countdown. Sorry. All right, so do you feel a difference? Sit with me here. Just notice this is a huge part of the work that I think I had to learn this the hard way, is that when you do the work, it's important to recognize you did the fucking work. Especially as a woman whose self-worth it was so hyper connected to her productivity. If I would, I still feel it. I still have residue of that sometimes. But as a woman who had that attached, productivity and self-worth, if I wasn't doing something, I wasn't worth shit. Fucking important that when I would do this work, that I recognize it. And that's a gift that I found inside of what I didn't really see as a gift, having those two connected. It took me a while to see that knowing that my productivity was connected to my self-worth for so long is a gift, because now when I give myself a little celebration, a little treaty treat, I'm like, oh yeah, look at you, you're doing the work. Did you see that? When I do that, I know it fucking pumps my ass up. I know what works. I know the language of me. So highly recommend that you sit with me and pay attention to how you're feeling right now, because you just did some of the work. So just nice, sit up straight, nice inhales and exhales. How do you feel? Maybe you even start at the top of your head and you do a little body scan. Can you release some tension in your forehead? Can you release your teeth? Maybe you are clenching down. You can release that jaw a little bit. Can you roll your shoulders back? Inhale, exhale, let those shoulders fall. Just notice how you feel in your heart space. How do you feel in your chest? Does it feel open or closed? Does it feel soft or jagged? Does it feel full? Is there room to fill? Big inhale and exhale if you need it. Come down to your stomach, come down to even maybe your hips. How are you feeling? Do you need to move in your seat a little bit? You need to move around? How's your stomach feel? How are your hips feeling? Is there any energy in there that you can identify? Is there anything that's smooth or jagged, big or small? Just pay attention. So if you can do this, every time that you, especially if you're setting the intention for the new year to do more breath work, maybe you just do simple steps like this, and then you take the time after you do some breath work to pay attention to how you feel, so you can see the fruits of your labor, so you can feel them, so you can recognize them, celebrate them. And then that way you move along your journey, reaching your goals a lot more quickly, a lot more easily. possibly something to work into your daily routine, you know? So now that we're sitting here, we know how we feel. Let's get into the work. All right. So you've already set your space. You already have your notebook that is in your journal, whatever it is, sketchbook. We're sitting nice, balanced, clear, calm. I'm going to ask you to take an extra second right now if you choose. Remember, this is completely up to you. I'm going to ask you whatever faith that you have right now, sit in that faith. Okay? Whatever faith it is, just be in it. Because I'm going to ask you if you want to connect to the earth, maybe even through your feet. You kind of feel like cords that go down to the earth, or maybe roots, or maybe vines, whatever it is. Connect to the earth. Remember, you are nature. It's not like it's human beings and then nature over here. You're fucking part of it, my dude. So reconnect, connect to the earth. And then whatever faith you have, like I said, why don't you even roll your shoulders back, sit up real nice and straight, and then feel this most beautiful beam of gold and white light go up the top of your head. And then connect with whatever you want to connect with. God, source, universe, divine, goddesses, whatever it is, creator, whatever word, whatever it is, just connect. Feel that connection. What does it feel like to be connected below and above? To feel those energies kind of swirling inside of you, to remember that you're a human and you're part of nature and you're part of all of this. What does that feel like? Feels fucking juicy, doesn't it? It's good stuff. Breathe into that for a little bit if you want to. I'm going to take a drink here and let's dig in. So what are we going to do? We're going to get your mind and your energy aligned. We're going to get excited and clear for the new year. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I did. Call me Dr. Seuss. We're also going to discuss what you might end up putting on your manifestation notebook, board, vision board, action board, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be releasing some stuff. We're going to understand the identity that we're currently in, the identity we want to step in, and the actions it's going to be necessary to get us there. Right? I want you to remember that usually there is one thing that stands in the way between you and reaching your goals. And there's probably like a lot of different ways to say this. And no, I'm not going to say it's you. Although, you know, it kind of is. But it's usually comes down to consistency. It comes down to consistency, which is, of course, connected to dedication and commitment and being clear, like all these things. But it comes down to being consistent. So when it comes down to the action, when it comes down to your identity, when it comes down to all this, it's going to take consistent action. It's going to take consistent inspired action. It's going to take consistent work, but it's worth it. It's so fucking worth it. So I wrote this down. Can I read it to you? Because I love it. I'm going to just read it to you. Every new year is like a blank canvas. This is about to get corny, by the way, but you know, I love my journey with my creative painting skills. I've been fucking digging it for the last several years. So I wanted to kind of give you something when it comes to creativity here. Every new year is like a blank canvas. And the way that you prepare is going to set up the space and the time for that masterpiece that you're going to create. Taking time to reflect, release, and set clear intentions is going to ensure that you're not carrying the weight of the old habits or the energy into this fresh new start of a year. It is your chance to align with your goals for who you truly want to become and create a roadmap that feels exciting and achievable. It's your chance to make the choice. When you begin the year with clarity, purpose, and a plan, you are unstoppable. You're not going to be drifting. You're going to be thriving. You like that? I fucking like it. I fucking dig it. I like it a lot. I wrote that and I was like, damn, okay. Good for you. I honestly might put that, like, there's a really good possibility. I've been thinking about like creating a piece of art with that written on it and framing it and putting it in my office somewhere where I can see it all the time. I just feel like that'd be a really good way for me to wrap up 2024 and step into 2025. Okay, let's start diving into these questions so you can get really fucking clear. Yeah? Good. Before one last thing before we do this, please remember that the new year naturally is going to be coming up in March, April. So make sure that when you're setting these goals, you're remembering that in the winter months, if if this is during the winter months for you, and I know right now we have a lot of people, especially over in New Zealand, that are listening. Hey, ladies and gentlemen over in New Zealand and over in Ireland and Belgium. I've been getting a lot of messages. So hey, y'all, it might not be the winter months. Um, but just remember, if you are in the winter months, it is a time for hibernation and a time for resting. It doesn't mean that's all you got to do, but just give yourself a little bit more slack and set your goals accordingly, right? So one thing I like to do is set my goals quarterly. So maybe you really get deeper into your goals and start amping it up in quarter two, in Q2, right? Because Q1 is still going to be the winter time. We're going to be entering into spring. So just something to think about. All right, let's get into it now. So let's get clear and excited for 2025. First, we're going to focus on finding your 2025 words. So this is something I've done a version of. This is something other clients have done a version of. There's one of my one-on-one clients. Again, it's the one who's so purposeful and so organized when she plans out her years. She talked to me about this recently. And one of her words, which I thought was so beautiful, was self-responsibility, which is a huge part of the work that we do. So I thought that was so beautiful to share with you. And we're going to be also finding your 2025 words, and we're going to use a few of these questions that I'm going to ask you to get clear on what those are. Now, your 2025 words, I would say choose anywhere between like 3 and 7, whatever feels good to you, something that's easy to remember. Maybe you can even turn it into a mantra, which would be fucking tits. My mantra last year is going to be moving into this year. I'm going to amp it up even more, but it was happy, healthy, wealthy, and fulfilled. Every day I become more happy, more healthy, more wealthy, and more fulfilled. So just know that you can use these in several different ways, and you can use them as your authentic code as well. And if you want to learn more about that, just send me a message and we'll talk about it. Question number 1. What kind of energy do you want to bring into your days? It's going to help you get clear on what your words are. It's going to help you get clear on a lot of other stuff too. But let's answer this question together. Sit with it. What kind of energy do you want to bring into your days? And we're not saying starting this in 2025. We're saying starting right now, right fucking now. What kind of energy do you want to bring to your days? If you dig into that a little bit, there's probably different layers. Whatever shows up for you, go with it, roll with it, but get really clear. One of the women that I spoke to recently about this said that one of the pieces that she wants to bring, the energy she wants to bring into her days, is love, which something we're talking about, especially in one-on-one work, because we're doing a lot with divine feminine and reawakening that and reconnecting to it, finding more balance there, living inside of those divine feminine aspects. But she had said she really wants to bring more love, the energy of love, to her daily life. And not just love for others, not just love for herself, but just love overall. And I just thought that was what a fucking perfect way to set up your days, you know? If you can sit with the specific type of energy, and maybe you also use your friend Google, or you use some AI, use some chat GPT, use whatever you want to use here to figure out what are some different types of energy. Don't try to just use your brain. Your brain has enough going on. Your mind is doing a lot of stuff. Okay. So don't bang your head against a wall. Just go up, and it's the age of information, my dude. It's the age of technology. Look at all the cool stuff we have. You can just go look up what are some different types of energies that I can bring to my day that will make my life better. And then bing, bang, boom, you're going to get a list, and you can be like, well, holy shit, didn't even think about that one. And that might be the one you needed. So reach out. Don't leave this all up to your mind. Give your noggin a break. Okay. Question number 2. Now, remember, a really good way to do this work is to allow your body to answer, and don't try to fucking get logical with it. Just when you hear me ask this question, pay attention to what immediately comes up. Let logic take a fucking seat for a second and just listen to your body. Listen to what intuitively comes up for you. You might hear it in your mind. It might be a thought that pops up, but just let logic take a seat. Ready for the question? What/how do you want people to feel when they are around you? How do you want people to feel when they're around you? First one that pops up for me is loved. Next one, safe. I want people to know that they are safe around me. I want people to know that they are loved around me. I'm going to go off on a little tangent, especially as a woman. One of my favorite things in the world throughout my whole life, no matter what season of life I was in, is that people knew that if I was around them, I'm gonna be a mama bear. There was one time, this immediately popped in my head. This was like 15 years ago. I went to the Mississippi Valley Fair, which, if you're from the Midwest, you know that that's a big motherfucking fair with a lot of artists, not just country artists. It's music and musicians of all types. And we were down in the pit. We were there with some friends, like I said, and those friends had kids. They had some teenage boys, and those teenage boys had some teenage girls that were their friends. And so there was this group of them, and it's real close quarters down there in the pit, in the sand pit in front of the stage. And it's all ages, it's the Midwest. So most people are fucking nice. Most people are fucking kind. And, they treat others very well in the Midwest, I have found. But there was just this motherfucker. There's just one motherfucker. And I was like, damn it. And one of my friends, Nick, he was joking because it was his kids, and he was like, man, wherever I take you, you just mama bear my kids. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to say I can't help it at this point. Like, I can't though. Like, I don't want to. I want your kids to know. I want you to know. Like, when your kids are around me, I got you. I got them. Like, I'll make sure things are good too. And that's a really big piece of who I am and how I want people to feel around me. Like, especially women and children, I want them to know that they are safe around me. And I have a fly in my face. How is that possible? It is November. Is this like the Iron Man of all flies? My gosh. Okay, I digress. So, what came up for you? How do you want people to feel around you? Maybe it is also you want them to feel loved and you want them to feel safe. Can I just give you like the other piece of this? Because sometimes things aren't always love, rainbow, and butterfly parts. I want people to know fuck around and find out when they're around me too. You know? Kind of like that motherfucker at the fair. Just being honest with you. I might not be the coach thought I was. But seriously, I want people to know fuck around and find out. Please. Because the only reason that I am calm and peaceful, or all the things else that I try my hardest and do my best to be, is because I have looked at every single one of my demons in the fucking face. And I know them, and I have befriended them, right? I want people to know I am love and light, but also fuck around and find out. So maybe that's you too, right? I definitely want people to know that at the end of the day, I got them for sure. How about this next question for your 2025 words? How do you want to feel at the end of every single night when your head hits your pillow? Can I share with you mine? I'm gonna satisfied, content. Every single day, if I lay my head on my pillow and I go through how the day went and how I feel and the celebrations and blah 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 and all this stuff, if I feel satisfied, it was a damn good day. Damn good day. I want you to sit with these three questions. And if more questions come up for you, if you listen to this, you're like, some other ones that popped up, good, fucking great. Also, I'd love to hear your answers and any other questions that pop up. Send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know how this episode helped you. Let me know what other questions or the answers or whatever. Send me an email. Coaching at email or at gmail, that is, .com. Just send it straight to me. Straight to my personal inbox. I want to hear from you. All right. So we got clear on what our 2025 words are, or if we don't have the words quite yet, we at least have these questions answered, and there's going to be certain words that are going to pop up at you. And you're going to be like, those are the words. And I want you to dig into your goals, because there's not a ton of focus in these questions about your goals of 2025. That's going to be a personal space that you're going to have to dig into. And maybe you need to figure out some questions for yourself on those goals, right? I have a woman in the Brazen Sisterhood. When we did this call recently, she had said that one of her words was persistence, because her goals require persistent action. They require commitment. And she went into a whole breakdown of it. It was beautiful. Thank you, Lily, by the way. I just adore you. But truly, I want you to dig into what your goals are so you can figure out those words too. And anywhere between 3 and 7. Figure out what feels good to you for these words and then get really clear on them. Side note, before we move into the next space here, maybe you flip your notebook, your sketchbook, whatever you're using, because we're going to go into a new category here. But I want you to consider when you have your words figured out to maybe give them each their own page in your journal, in your notebook, and write down how you can align your behavior, your words, and your actions more with those words for your 2025 year. So for Lily, her word being persistent, she could go through and ask herself, what are some ways that she can be more persistent with her actions? How is she going to put that into effect in her life and start embodying it and integrate it in? Persistent with her words, like persistent with her behavior, right? Like getting really fucking clear on what those steps look like, because otherwise it's just a fucking idea on a piece of paper. It's a lot easier to take action if you're clear on what you're doing. So maybe you take that with your words and you write those in, give them their own page. Now let's move into the second piece. This is going to be a longer episode, by the way, because we got some stuff to cover. So I hope you're ready. Next piece of this work that we're going to do is we're going to make a want more list. Go ahead and just make your page. Just at the top, write want more list or however you want to, but trust me on the want more. Take a drink here. We're not saying the things that you want, the things that you desire, the things you're calling in, although we have used those words many times and we probably will again. But to be very specific with the reason we're doing this is because I want you to see that if you're calling something into your life from a state of lack by saying, I'm calling this in because I don't have it, I'm calling it in because I don't have enough, or whatever the fuck, it's probably why you're stuck. Might be part of reasons why you're stuck. Because if you instead start to call more into your life of what you already have, where are you calling that in from? What kind of energy? That's right. Ding, ding, ding. Abundance, my friend. You're calling that in from an abundant state of mind, an abundant energy, a frequency that is much higher than fucking lack. You with me? So we're going to be calling in more of some things. So make your want more list. What do you want more of? Do you see why we did this? Maybe you make the title at the top pretty too. I have found that if you do this work and you make it fun and pretty and fuck, maybe even color coded, color organized, that's one of the things I like to do. It makes it more fun, more enjoyable, and a lot easier to integrate into your life as well. Just a thought. So, are you ready to make your want more list? Let's fucking do it. All right. Question number 1. What do you want more of in 2025? Let's get right down to the sauce, man. What do you want more of? I want more play, my dude. I want more play and I want more movement. Like I want to I've been on a gym journey again recently. I spent the last 3 years so highly motherfucking dedicated to healing some really difficult shit in my personal life that I never thought I would have to deal with, and also building an incredibly successful international empire. Bitch, I know. I know. I'm like, damn, okay. But you want to know what I didn't do? I didn't stick with my gym routine. I was working out at home a lot, but your girl fell off that wagon a little bit, and that's okay. So I want more physical fucking fitness in my life. I want to be, I want to feel like it's my body again because I don't quite feel like this is my body right now. I feel like I have kind of like a suit of armor on, which we all know that we go through, right? Especially with the healing that I did. It was, trigger warning, it was sexual abuse, the healing, and fuck, you really have some suits of armor that you have to go through when you heal that type of shit. So I'm definitely into getting at the gym more, being more dedicated, and really just feel even more like this is my body. So that's what I want more of. I want more play back into that though. Dude, I want to laugh more. I want to do more silly shit. I want to be a silly motherfucking goose in 2025. That's a goal. That's fucking goal. I'm putting it on a calendar. Be a fucking silly goose. I just I I don't feel like I take life too seriously by any means. But I do feel like there are times in my life where I could integrate, let's not use coaching terms because sometimes it makes my skin crawl. There are some times when I feel like I could have more fucking fun. Okay. There's some times when I'm like, bitch, you could be laughing more. You could be enjoying your life more. So that's also something I want more of. Ooh, I want more pleasure in 2025 too. I want more money in 2025. I want more dream clients in 2025. I want more success personally and professionally in 2025. My more list is a long one. Yeah, damn right. There was a long time in my life where I would feel some sort of way, some sort of guilt about asking for more in life because, a lot of reasons including a Catholic upbringing that taught me you don't ask for more. Uh, and so the guilt was there. Like, how dare I ask for a good life? I must suffer. Suffering is required. And dude, if you feel that way, if there's any smidge of that, I'm gonna ask you to set that shit to the side and just be like, you know what? Not right now. Not fucking right now. Just be real clear on what you want more of and do it unapologetically. All right. It's just you and your fucking list, man. You don't have to judge yourself on that. Next one. Next question for your want more list. This is gonna be a fun one for you to answer. It was fun for me. What lights your soul on fire? What lights your soul on fire? Working with you lights my soul on fire. Oh, that was so sappy, but also as soon as I said it, I started to laughing. I'm like, Heather, that's cheesy, but it's so true. And then as soon as I said the words, I was like, oh, waterworks. Truly, I fucking love, oh my gosh. I love working with you, especially in Women Rising. Freaking A, if you haven't gotten your seat yet, please go get it. I fucking love that. Women from all over the world coming together and just being women and sharing and laughing and sharing their pro tips. And we talk about big stuff like this and we dig in, and it's just so fucking cool. So cool. Women leave every single day in Women Rising and they send me messages. Please let me know if you want some, by the way. I have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of screenshots. I would love to share them with you. I won't send them all, I promise. But like, they send me these messages and they're like, dude, I left this today. It's an hour and a half every day. An hour and a half on a random Monday. And they're like, dude, my life feels changed. I connected with women from all over the world. I felt like I was part of something. I felt like I was making an impact. I had my voice that came forward. I felt my heart get bigger, like fucking Grinch style. Like, I just love it. That's what sets my soul on fire is creating these communities for women from all over the world and just helping women like you be who the fuck they want to be. It's just far too often that women have lived in boxes and lived small and not been sure of themselves or haven't loved themselves or didn't feel capable of love or what the fuck ever. The list goes on. And it is such a cool time in history for women to stand up and say, I'm going to love myself regardless. I'm going to love my life regardless. I'm going to do this regardless. And I get to fucking lead the way on that. I get to be one of so many that lead the fucking way. Are you shitting me? That sets my soul on fire. I get to help women feel empowered as fuck. I get to help women step into their power. Oh, sign me up for a double dose. So, what is it for you? What lights your soul on fire? What about travel? Ooh, put me on a plane. Put me in a road trip. Fucking sign me up for an adventure. What about success and reaching your goals and achieving your dreams? Where is it? What is that for you? I have a that's fucking fly that's in here. It's the same one that's always in my face when I'm with one of my one-on-one clients. It's only like a few of my one-on-one clients. I think it's because of the time of the day. Every time I talk to her, she's like, "You got that fly in front of your face again." I'm like, "Yeah, still fucking got it." It's what you get when you have plants all over, I suppose. All right, you ready to move on to your third question? Where do you want to expand? Where in your life, what area of your life do you want to expand in? Where is there room to grow and you have the desire to do it? Again, I'm going to ask you, be unapologetic about this. Dream big. Don't have any fucking limits here. Do not limit yourself with your want more list. Not a great place to set limits. This is where it should just be the sky is the limit, my dude. Where do you want to expand? Now, I want to remind you when you are expanding, it's going to be scary. So, if there's any thoughts as you are doing this of fear or doubt or worry or what if spirals, set that shit to the side. Okay. You'll figure it out when you get there. You always do. That is something I think I have had to remind every single woman I've ever worked with. Every single one I've had to look at and say, hey, don't fucking worry about how it's going to work out. You have always figured it out. Everything you can figure out, you are capable. You know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you know how to figure out how to do it. Right? And we live in the age of technology, but you can just turn on YouTube. You don't even have to go any further than that. Just put on YouTube. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know? I want to remind you of that. That is one of the blocks. That's one of the walls that we run into as humans. Is like, I don't fucking know how to do that big thing. You'll figure it out. You'll always figure it out. There's always going to be somebody that knows how to do it that you can just ask. You can just be like, hey, how are you? How do I do this? Right? So, want more list. We have your 2025 words. We have your want more list. These are going to be things to come back to and to finish up. You're probably not done with them. But let's move on to number 3. We have to create some space. You know, if you're going to call things into your life, call more into your life, you have to have the fucking space for it. Kind of like if you, I've used this example before with clients. Let's say you have a 2-car garage and you're calling in more and you're calling in a dream car. Right now, I'm calling in 1969 Ford lifted. I used to have an old red Ford. Named it Sherman after my great grandpa, and fuck if I don't want another one. I have been aching for an old truck again. So maybe you're calling in another vehicle like that, but you only have a 2-car garage and you already got 2 cars in there. You're going to have to find some space. You're going to have to clear some shit out or make some room, right? Think of it that way. When you're calling things into your life, what do you need to get rid of then? What do you need to set the fuck down? Clear some space. So we're going to make a release list. And you want to know the fun part about this? This is where you can get real fucking witchy with it. You can write this list, this release list, a page all its own, and then you can go outside and you can light that motherfucker on fire. Maybe in the moonlight. Maybe you let the ashes go into the earth. Maybe you do a whole little ritual or ceremony. Maybe you have a good fucking time when you do it, and think think Betty White, Sandra Bullock in The Proposal. Just like dance around a little fire if you want to. Get fucking weird, dude. Get weird with it. That's where the magic is when you let yourself get weird. Stop trying to fit into some societal box of bullshit. Stop trying to fit in that box. Nobody fits in that box. Be the fucking weird human you are. Go dance around a fire and burn some shit outside. Okay? That's what you're going to do with this release list. You're not going to carry this shit anymore. We're releasing it so we can make room for the things we're calling into our life. Question number 1. This one's going to hit. Get ready. Are you ready? What stories and narratives are you done repeating, speaking, and believing? I'll ask it again. What stories and narratives are you done repeating, speaking out loud, and believing? You're going to sit with that one for a second, okay? Yeah. You're going to want to come back to that one. There's a lot there, I'm sure, because you're a human and you're doing this work. Whenever you do this work, you are on purpose pulling shit out by the root. Okay? So you probably have some. What's a story? Maybe it's a story of you not being capable or you not being enough. What is it? Maybe when you pull it out at the root, there's also some story that comes with it. You're pulling it out and it's like, yeah, because when I was 6, this happened and blah, 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 blah. And then again, when I was 12, that's there. You're a human being. I'm sure of it. I have it. You have it. We all have it. It's all connected to childhood. It always fucking is. It always fucking is. Tell the story. Maybe that's the last time you tell the fucking story. Maybe you cut that shit. You got to look at it first, though. You got to process it. You can't just pop it into a bottle and put a cork on it. It'll come out. So look at it. What are you done with? There is so much shit that I am done with. Every year. Well, I release with the full moons. Not every single month, because some months I'm like, this ain't the month. It's not the time. Like, I'll just do a small ceremony or ritual, be like, I'm done with this, but like nothing huge, like a list and a burning. But dude, this whole year I've been releasing what has led up to be basically an entire piece of my identity. And I feel like that's so part of most of our journeys. I'm going to be 40 soon. Dude, I know. I'm just as shocked as you are. It doesn't seem possible. I love being almost 40. I am loving this. My 30s have been fucking awesome. Like it just doesn't seem I still feel I'm like, what? I'm 27. Well, it's 40. But like, dude, as I'm moving into this, I think that's what happens, right? Is like, especially for a woman, when you are reaching that age, like there's just an identity that falls away. And when you're doing that on purpose and you're, sitting down and you're really getting clear on shit, it just makes it so much easier and just a lot more exciting. So for me, there's a lot of stories, especially around what I deserve and what I can hold on to, what I can keep. Not just receiving it, but being able to continue to receive or keep it. All right, you ready for your next question? It's another good one. It's another doozy. What habits, mindsets, and beliefs are no longer serving you? There might be some repeats. You might be like, well, I answered some of that in the last question. That's okay. Write it down again. Just get real clear. What habits, mindsets, and beliefs are no longer serving you? Start with the habits, my dude, because your habits every single day create your fucking life. They create you. Your habits are you. So get really clear on what habits you have. What about your mindset? Can there be a little cleanup in aisle 4 when it comes to your mindset? Is there some perspective shifts that you can make? What about belief systems? Is it time to expand? Maybe when I said something about like, I must suffer, you felt that in your fucking soul. Dude, that was a belief system. Again, growing up in that type of world. And I grew up I grew up with hard working motherfuckers. I grew up with farmers and construction workers. Like I grew up blue collar, very Catholic. And there's this space. It's like something we all agreed to that we all have to suffer. It's part of life. And I agree that the hard times do create us, right? The suffering sometimes can create really great things. It's like a diamond being pressed, right? However, there was this belief that stuck with me for many years that suffering was like top 3 things that always had to happen. Like I remember, I was just talking to Trav about this too. I remember so many times where like me and a friend would go back and forth in conversation, almost like one-upping each other on how hard our lives were and how much we were suffering. Well, I had to work this many hours. Well, I had this happen. Like the fuck? The fuck. Mm-mm. Gross. Hard pass. Super pass. Absolutely not. That was a belief system that I had to get really clear on, like, again, where it came from, what it's doing. Is it ready to be released? Is it fucking helpful at all? So pay attention there with your belief systems. Maybe your belief or beliefs, plural, around money or wealth or whatever that even means for you. Also, P.S., if you want to rebuild your relationship with money, send me a fucking message, my dude. I did not, I just told you, I grew up blue collar, dude. When the first time I heard, it was actually when I read a book. I was reading I'm a book nerd. I've read all of them. It was a book years ago. It was probably like 7 years ago. I remember the conversation I had with my brother. It was when we lived in Tennessee. So probably about 7 years ago now. I was at my brother's house this specific time and I was like, dude, did you know? Did you know that you can heal your relationship with money? And he was like, the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, no, hear me out. Because he knows I'm weird. It's not a secret in the family. Like, you want to know who does like the quantum research and manifestation and digs into it's me. It's me. My brother does it a little bit, like the cool, like he does a little bit, but like it's me, right? So he was used to it. But I was like, yeah, man, you can fucking heal your relationship with money. And he's like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, like it's actually a thing. Like it's a thing. It's one of the key components of easy success. If you don't want to fucking chase everything and struggle and suffer. Like the fuck? How did we not know this? Dude, when I reevaluated what it means to have a relationship with money and how it was affecting me, it changed my whole fucking life. And it still continues to this day. And it will forever, I'm sure. I guarantee you, if you have any type of belief systems that are rooted in lack or scarcity or suffering or any of that shit, if you take a look at those belief systems and you ask yourself if it's serving you, which the answer is probably no. If you look through those, life changing. Just fucking reach out to me, dude. I have so many good pieces of exercises and practices and different things you can do. I started with not a very healthy relationship with money. Okay. It wasn't so healthy. And it's still growing and improving. And it's crazy what work there can do. Anyways, let's go back to our questions. So we are creating space with a release list, and we're on question number 3. What relationships and commitments feel heavy? Yeah. What relationships or commitments feel heavy? Dude, I have been taking such an intentional social media break because my relationship with social media, I mean, it's literally a huge part of my empire, of my business. Every single thing, the journals that I create, the courses that I create, the one-on-one work that I do, the private communities that I create, all these things I tell you all about on social media, of course, because I'm smart. Duh. Right? If you have any type of business and you take it on social media, especially if it's an international business, that's a no-brainer. It's a fucking no-brainer right there. And I'll tell you, it's kind of rough sometimes being on social media all the time. Like man, I had to reevaluate that relationship. A commitment that I had to reevaluate was how many one-on-one clients. Like, I have reevaluated my commitments when it comes to one-on-one clients so many times because my one-on-one clients, we go so deep. It is so deep. We do energy work a lot. Like, it's everything. It's mind, it's body, it's soul. It's deep. It's intense good. It's immersive as fuck. And it's for 6 months. And it's incredible. It's like the most incredible transformation. It blows my mind that it even came, like the program came out of me. Like every single time. Like, holy shit, I created this, lived this. Holy fuck. Like, it's just so cool to me. But I have to, because of how much it is, I have to be like, "Whoop, I gotta focus on less women." So I think in 2025, if I remember correctly, I'm taking away 2 of the spots for one-on-one work because there's one-on-one spots in the Brazen Sisterhood and then also with the Brazen Method, which is 6 months long. Brazen Sisterhood is just monthly calls. I've taken away a few of those because I'm like, I don't know, man. I think I need to reel back that commitment a little bit. So what about for you? What about your relationships and commitments and what's feeling heavy? What needs to be tweaked, right? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just fucking tweak it. What needs tweaked? Last question. This is so important. And this question has been coming into my life a lot for like 6 months. And then I went to Travis's holiday party with him recently, and the CEO of his company said this. And I was like, that's fucking right, my dude. Where in your life can you embrace the suck? Just embrace the fucking suck. Sometimes life is life in. Sometimes shit sucks. Like it is. Sometimes you're like, this sucks. This sucks. This is not what I asked for. This is not what I wanted. It's not what I prepared. Sometimes life is gonna be life, my dude. And where can you just fucking embrace the suck and be like, I'm gonna power through this. I'm gonna Gwen from the Brazen Sisterhood said it best recently. I'm gonna badass through this. Where can you just be more of a badass and just fucking go head first? Go for it. Yeah, it's gonna suck. Do it anyway. Oh, I love that question. Gets me amped. Or can you just fucking say, I'm going to do it anyway? Just bear down, man. Power through it. Okay, so you got your 4 questions. This is where you're going to be releasing. These questions are going to help you get clear on what it's time to fucking let go of. Release it. Stop dragging it behind you. Stop carrying it around like fucking suitcase. Set it the fuck down. It might be time. Maybe it's time. All right. Take another drink there real quick. Let's move on. We have a couple more and then we're gonna call it quits for the day. It's a good one, huh? It's a good episode. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep telling you because there's only a few weeks left. Go get your freaking seat for Women Rising. I love you so much. Go get it. Right now, right away. You want a discount code? P.S. You want a special savings code? You know I have one for you. You fucking know I have one for you. If you're sitting there and you're like, Heather, I really want to be there. This Women Rising event for 4 days, an hour and a half every single day, live access and replay, 4 guest speakers. This sounds great. Where the fuck do I sign up? Where do I RSVP? I will tell you, I will send you the link. Why don't you reach out to me and I will send you a special savings code because I have it, especially for the women that are willing to reach out to me. I have a special one for you. If you're willing to reach out and be like, hey, I was listening to this podcast and I decided I want to fucking do this. I want to have a fucking tribe of women that all have similar goals and we're like-minded and we're all heart-centered and we're going after our fucking dreams and we're doing it. Like, if you want to be in that energy for 4 days and you want to learn some cool shit and you want to get clear, like if you want to do that and you have the fucking grit to reach out to me and be like, yo, hook me up with that fucking special savings code. Oh, you know I'm giving you one. 1,000,000%. We're probably also going to send some voice clips back and forth. Send me a message and let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right, are you ready for action? Let's get clear on where you're going to take action more. Because none of this shit matters if you're not going to take action. We both know that. Let's say it out loud. Say it with me. None of this shit matters if we're not going to take action. You can't just sit on your fucking thumbs, man. You got to do some shit. Okay, so action and identity. We're going to look at 2 specific questions, and then we're going to move into one of my favorite parts. Actually, I fibbed. We're going to 2 questions, my favorite part, and we're going to add a question there. We're going to make this even more fun. All right. Question number 1, make sure you're giving yourself a new page again. This is what I listed, the become and do, action and identity, right? Whatever you want at the top. That's what we're focused on. First question, what actions are you willing to take to support your vision? So in order to answer this question, first you have to be clear on your vision. So maybe you take some time on that and maybe you let it be something you build a whole page all its own where it's just your vision and you just keep adding things so you can get clear, whether it's in paragraph form or bullet form, do whatever you want. It's one of the reasons I love doing this on a sketchbook because you can get fucking creative and artsy cartsy with it. I love it. What actions are you willing to take to support your vision? They're not going to be the actions that are super easy. Let's get clear on that. You can see this fly. I'm just going to bat at him like a cat. They're not going to be the easy ones, dude. The easy ones are probably the ones you're already doing. And if those easy ones are not the ones you're doing, then you, my dear, need to get it in gear. If you want to align yourself to achieve your visions, your goals, and maybe your vision is just simply a life that feels fucking better, you are going to have to take that action, especially the easy ones. So these, what we're listing, these are probably the like moderately difficult actions where you've been like, I'm putting that off right now. Maybe that's the fucking ones. What actions are you willing to take? I'm not asking you to go take them tomorrow, by the way. I'm just asking you to be willing to take them. Are you even willing? Because the willingness to take inspired action will always, you can quote me on this, the willingness to take inspired action, if you put that energy out there and you say it and you're like, I'm fucking willing, the opportunities will show up and you don't even have to fucking chase them. You don't even have to go looking for them. You just put that fuck out there. I am willing to take this action and to do this, and it'll show up for you. The opportunities will. And if you decide to call that in saying you're willing to do it and you're like, I am willing to do it and it's going to be easy and it's going to feel good and I'm always going to be at the right place at the right time. Shout out to Travis because that's his mantra. And I'm always going to meet the right people. You start saying that shit, it happens. Just saying. Okay. What's your next question? What daily, weekly, and monthly habits align with your goals? What daily, weekly, and monthly habits align with your goals? You can kind of see it right off here. Wrong way, right here. Off to the side. That's the first Monday of every month. That's my list of things to do. You can't really see it because it shows you the edge of it, but there are I have little lists for myself everywhere, trying to make my brain remember everything. Okay, that's not how I work best. It's probably not how you work best either. It probably would work best if you learned the language of you and how your brain works and then worked with your brain. So I know that it's really good for me to have like exact steps and be very like clear and organized so I can just come into my office and I can be like, what do I got to do today? Bam, 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 bam. And then I can check them the fuck off because when I check something off, oh, when I have a box and I can check it off, there is a wave of delicious that just goes right through me. It is, I love it. It hits hard. So if you know that about yourself as well, maybe that's how you write down your daily, weekly, and monthly goals and habits. Get in the fucking groove, man. Start working with yourself. I worked with a client years ago and we talked about this. And she told me, she's like, I can't do that because my brain doesn't work that way. And I was like, oh, tell me more. Tell me more about why you can't do this because of your brain. And she did. And she had a spicy ass brain, just like me. Spicy, spicy. And I was like, well, it sounds to me like not only can you do this, but that's actually how you're going to get things done quicker and easier is if you make lists and you allow yourself to see the habits so that way your brain doesn't have to try to figure out what you're doing every day and it can just go straight to a piece of paper and say, oh, look at that. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Boom, my day's done. And she did. And you want to know what? She's fucking thriving hardcore because now she's working with her brain instead of against it. And she's saying, I can do this instead of I can't, and giving the reasons and excuses of why she can't. Because that's what we do as humans. I do it too, by the way, or I have done it, I should say. I'm sure you have, where you almost like defend your inability to fucking do shit. You defend the fact that you're not capable. You know what I mean? The fuck? It's kind of like that belief system that I talked to you about that I had to cut the cords with of suffering. Had to cut the cords with trying to fucking root against myself and say, I can't do this. So figure out how your brain works, figure out how you work, set up your daily, weekly, and monthly habits. If you want help with this, this is a really great place to work with a coach. Most people come to work with me, A, because they need the accountability and they know it. They're like, I've gone as far as I can go by myself. I need somebody and I want somebody that's beside me, that's going to laugh with me, that's going to guide me, that's going to keep me on track, that's going to keep me accountable, that's going to help me reach my goals, like a coach, you know? That's one of the reasons. Another reason is they need somebody to come in, like I said, with that guidance, but they need somebody to come in and help them get clear along the way. And they just want to step by step. They're like, I don't want to read 12 million books. Listen to 12 million podcasts. I just want you to be like, hey, step 1, 2, 3, 4, do this. Step 3, 4, 5, 6, just do it. And they're like, yes, thank you. I don't want to have to fucking research all the time. Like these are the reasons that people come to work with coaches, especially with me. And if you can dig into it on this one question, you've just helped yourself out so much. What daily, weekly, and monthly habits align with your goals, and how the fuck are you going to stick to them? Work with your brain. Figure out habit stack, my dude. Habit stacking is genius. The perfect way to do it. You already brush your teeth every day. If one of your goals that you want to hit is physical fitness, is a certain goal there. I just saw in the Brazen Sisterhood, I think it was Kelsey that's doing this. I do it too. When I brush my teeth, I'm doing squats. You kidding me? While I'm brushing my teeth, you bet your ass that I'm going to do some squats while I'm brushing my teeth. When I get done brushing my teeth and I'm doing my skincare, affirmations in the mirror to tell myself what a great job I'm doing and then what my goals are and how I'm going to reach it, you fucking bet your ass I'm going to habit stack that. Highly recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so the become and do, the action and identity. What actions are you willing to take to support your vision and what daily, weekly, monthly habits align with your goals? Are you ready to move into the even more fun part here? The identity piece? Okay, you might even want a different piece of paper or like to turn the page over even because we're going to start building the new version of you. Now I need to tell you something. This is very important for you to know. When you step into a new identity, there is a mourning process where you are mourning the death and the rebirth. You're mourning the death of the old identity of you. You probably have already felt this before. It's a very natural fucking part of our lives, especially if you are someone who wants to grow and evolve as a human. Not everybody wants to, but if you do, you probably have felt this before, where you reach a certain point in your life, you decide that you want to step into this new version of you, this new life, this new way of living. And then there's like this moment where you're like, why am I so sad? Why do I feel this way? It's because you're mourning, and that's okay. All right. So pay attention to that. Little pro tip there. Now let's start building the new you. Can I ask you a question about the new you? Not the current you, the new you. Set a date for when the new you comes out to play, by the way. Maybe the new you comes out tomorrow morning. Maybe as soon as this episode is over. Set the date though. Put it on a calendar and it'll happen for sure. So let's ask a question about the new you. How does she walk into a room? How's the new you walk into a room? Does she walk with her head down, her tits all fucking caved in with her shoulders up to her ears and her fucking jaw clenched and her fucking tail between her legs? Like, how the fuck do you walk into a room? Do you walk into a room unsure of yourself? Do you walk into a room feeling insecure? There's a lot that can happen if you just choose the way that you're going to start walking into rooms. Choose the energy that you enter a room with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There have been so many times in my life, and I am positive that there's going to be many more on the horizon very soon, where I walk into a room and I feel like everyone around me is an expert, and I am just Tweedledum, just sitting there with that hat on my head, like from Alice in Wonderland and the old timey shows, just sitting in the corner, Tweedledee, Tweedledum over here, and everybody else is an expert. And I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing here? Oh, whoa. It's called imposter syndrome, because shit happens. And there's always going to be a feeling, and not always, but with certain rooms that I walk into, there's always going to be a feeling of like, oh my gosh, I have to like breathe and like just step into confidence, even though maybe I don't feel it fully right now. That's the way you have to walk into a room. If you feel that, oh, I feel a little insecure, I don't feel very sure of myself, that's when you pump up those fucking numbers, my dude. That's when you decide, regardless, that you're going to walk in confident. So maybe right now you decide that this new version of you, wherever she walks in, whether it's in a room of experts or at a TJ Maxx, you walk in with confidence. Maybe every day when you walk into your job, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you walk into your business or you do whatever, you walk in with a new fucking energy, a new confidence, a new courage. How do you walk into a room? Okay. Number two, this new version of you. Oh, this is fun. This is where you can get creative. How do you dress and how do you look? How's this new version of you dress? How does she look? I think that when a woman changes the way she looks, it is so fucking cool. I feel like I can burp right now too. I might. If you know me in any way, shape, or form, you know that I'm going to burp. It's just part of who I am. So if I burp in the middle of this episode, my apologies. But for real, when a woman changes the way that she looks, it's the coolest thing. I can tell you the chapters of my life and what I was feeling, what I was navigating, what I was figuring out based off how my fucking hair looks. Dude, when I dyed my hair Jessica Rabbit red, that was a cool chapter. There were several years of my life where my hair was Jessica Rabbit red, and you bet your sweet ass that I was walking into rooms like I was Jessica Rabbit. Are you fucking kidding me? Hell yes. I had just gone through a messy fucking divorce. I had just cut ties completely with my mother, which also meant I was cutting even more ties with that side of the family in certain ways. I had to mourn so much, so much. I had to figure out who the fuck I was after being a wife and a mom my bonus babies. I was with him for it was almost 10 years. I didn't know who the fuck I was. But when I dyed my hair Jessica Rabbit red, oh, it was a brand new me. I will always, my friend Lindsay dyed it for me. I started making it even more red. Probably not a way that a hairdresser would approve of. I was definitely using some box stuff. But yeah, I will never forget the night that Lindsay dyed my hair red. She gave me some wine and we talked about what that meant. She's like, bitch, if you're dyeing your hair red, I was like, I know. I know. I started dressing the way I wanted to dress too. About 10 years ago now, 8, 9, 10-ish years ago now, I started dressing the way I wanted to dress. I was done giving a fuck what anybody thought. I had, they called it the Puss in Boots get up, the guys I ran around with, because again, small town. Uh, there was a lot of the girls that I ran around with too. We had very similar get-ups. We all looked pretty much similar. We were all wearing our cowboy boots, cowgirl boots, whatever you want to say, our ripped up jeans, and usually either like a tank top, a white tank top, or like a country like Whiskey Myers or what's another one, Ward Davis or something like an old country shirt. It was the Puss in Boots get up. And you know, when I put those clothes back on, because like I still got some of them. When I put those on, I remember that era of my life and what I was going through and what I was navigating and who I was and what I was experiencing. Like it was a cool time of my life. So I want you to think about this. This is an opportunity right now for you to switch some shit up. Maybe there's clothes in your closet that you haven't worn in a really long time, and you're like, I think it's fucking time. Stop saving them for some special fucking event. Now is the special event, dude. Wear them now. Have you been wanting to dye your hair or cut your hair? Fucking do it. Please do it. Send me a picture. You want to start doing your makeup different? That's such a fun piece. Oh, that's such a fun piece. I love when I talk to women and I've talked to so many women that because they came into my little area of the internet, they're like, you always wear red lipstick. And now I'm wearing red lipstick. And I'm like, bitch, it does something to you. It does something to you. I started wearing red lipstick a lot more, especially when I worked at Sephora years and years ago. And it just stuck, man. Probably helps that I was always so in love with Marilyn Monroe. Probably has something to do with it. But you put that red lipstick on, brand new woman, watch out, walking into rooms totally different. So next piece here about the new you is what about how you feel and you speak? How do you speak as the new version of you? How do you feel? What thoughts do you believe and what thoughts do you have more boundaries with? Do you have a bigger boundary with fear as the new version of you? Do you listen to those thoughts? Do you spiral into them? Or do you spiral up and choose to do so on purpose? How do you walk into a room as the new version of you? How do you dress? How do you look? How do you feel? How do you speak? Get really clear on that woman. I'm going to ask you one more question about her. And remember, an easy way to do this is just to go through and write down these questions. Maybe you answer a few with me while we're here, and then you go and you do it on your own. You spend an entire few nights on it. Make it fucking important. Okay? Because if you don't, it's just going to be another day. Remember. All right, last question about her, and then we're going to be wrapping up here shortly. Question about the new you. What is one belief that she holds that you can adopt today? What is one belief that the new version of you already has? You know she does. And you can fucking adopt that today, regardless. Regardless if you don't fully believe it. You don't fully believe it? Do not fake it till you make it. Do not do that. Do not fake it till you make it because you know when you're faking it. Feel it till you be it, okay? This new belief that you're going to be adopting, choose to do so until it's fucking sitting in and it's anchored in. Do it on purpose every single day. Lock it in, okay? Every single day, figure out what belief system is it time for you to adopt. And do it. All right. Next piece, turn your page. Celebrate and stay steady. That's what you can put at the top if you want. Make it pretty. This is what I need you to do. I need you to create a system so you can track your wins. I need you to create a system that you know works for your brain, your mind, yourself. And I need you to figure out how to track your wins so you can do it more often. Because, like we've already talked about, if you're not tracking your wins, you're probably not acknowledging your progress, which means you're not acknowledging the work that you're doing, which means that you probably think you're not doing the work, which means you're probably getting down on yourself. So it's time to break that fucking cycle and just start celebrating your wins. That's all you got to do. So we talked about one before, easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is one of my favorite ones. When my head is on the pillow at night, I think back to all the things I did that day that I'm proud of. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Fucking proud of you, chick. Good on you. I think about the things I'm happy about, the things I enjoyed, the things I want to experience again, the things I want to experience more of. I fall asleep and go and drift away into the alpha theta brainwave state with those type of things on my mind. It's a great way to fall asleep. Something you can also do, this is something that I have done and that I have my one-on-one clients do, is create an accomplishments list and let it be ever growing. When I have my one-on-one clients do this, I ask them to put the title at the top, accomplishments list, and then I ask them to save like 20 or 30 pages and bookmark them so they're not ever used for anything else. Those 20 or 30 pages are only to be used from now until when the fuck ever for your accomplishments. So you have plenty of space. And then just start adding to them. Maybe you do it every day. Maybe you do it a few times a week or once a week, but you go in there and you list your accomplishments, because there is something real juicy about writing those down and claiming them, claiming your fucking victories. There's also something really juicy about when you're having a shit ass day, because remember, sometimes you have to embrace the suck because sometimes it sucks. And then you go to your accomplishments list and you're like, it is a good life. Look at all these things I've done. I'm really fucking proud of myself. Yeah. So you can do that. Or another easy peasy one that we talked about, when you're brushing your fucking teeth in the mirror, my dude, or when you're putting your skincare and makeup on, or doing your hair, or doing whatever the fuck. When you're in front of a mirror, just say some stuff that you're proud of. What have you done recently in the last day, week, whatever that you're proud of? Just do that. It's simple. I know. It works every time. Okay. So remember, your small wins equal big progress. And if you want to really anchor in here, you share your wins and your celebrations with someone else. Every time, that's going to amplify it. And you know it will. Because what happens when you tell somebody that you're friends with or that you love about your accomplishments? And this is the important part, when you tell them, they get fucking stoked for you. What happens? What happens when you reach out to me as your coach and you're like, guess what I did this week? And I'm like, tell me what the fuck you did this week. And then you tell me and we fucking send each other dancing gifts back and forth. And I'm like, fuck yes, I'm so proud of you. And then you send me a voice clip. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm so proud of me. What happens? That's where the magic lives. So do you need somebody to share your wins and celebrations with that's going to get fucking stoked with you? Why don't you come and join me in the Brazen Sisterhood? You know how many women in there are sharing their wins, and just dozens upon dozens of women are like, oh yeah, awesome. Like that's what that's for. You want to do it for 4 days in Women Rising and have hundreds of women internationally fucking get stoked with you and celebrate with you? Join Women Rising. That's what it's for. One of many reasons. If you want to go deeper here and you want to do this work and have it stick quicker and easier, you need to celebrate your wins and your accomplishments and your successes with your fucking community and tribe, or bare minimum, your coach. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, we all know at least one person in all of our lives that when we share our wins or accomplishments, remember what we talked about suffering? We're like one-upping each other on how bad life can be. You have one. Everybody has one of those in their life where you are like, I'm going to share my wins and accomplishments. And you do. And then they remind you that they're just not in a space where they're able to have those type of conversations without turning it into something shit. Don't do that then. Don't do that then. You come over and you share them with us. Okay. Meet that person where they are. That's where they are right now. Find new people to celebrate with. Okay. Last piece. Are you ready? I'm going to take a drink. Get stoked. Oh, this is such a good episode. This was so much fun hanging out with you. And I'm so excited to hear from you. I'm going to say it again. Write it down. heatherpowell.coaching@gmail.com. Send me an email. go to my Instagram and send me a DM. I want to know. I want to know how much this got you amped. I want to know if you need more information. I want to help you through. Like, I want to be there and be one of the women in your community that's helping you reach your fucking goals. That's literally my purpose and passion. This is something that lights my fucking fire. So reach out to me. Okay. Last piece. Inhale, exhale. Let's do that a few times. That felt really fucking good. Let's inhale, exhale. Number 6. At the top of the page, daily embodiment practices. Or what the fuck you're going to do every day to stay on goal. Okay? Number 1. This goes back to many things that we've already spoke about, but to get it on paper, create a simple daily ritual, or call it a habit, or call it a routine, or call it whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it's the same thing. It's something you do every single day, and it's a ritual. If you want to make it sacred and you want to get that spirituality, or maybe it's more of a religion, I still have a fly in my face, whatever it is that you're into. Most of the women in my community aren't usually very religious, but they're more on that spiritual side. But we don't judge. You come over here. Most of us are just on a different path right now because we at one point had an experience. So again, whatever you have faith in it and have big faith and get sacred with it and make it a fucking ceremony. So for instance, let's say that as we've been talking, you're like, dude, I really like the idea of doing some squats while I'm brushing my teeth and while I'm doing my skincare, saying my affirmations. And when I'm driving to work, talking about my goals and discussing out loud how I'm going to reach them and how I'm excited to reach them. Okay, cool. There you go. There you fucking go, my dude. That's it. That's all. That's easy. And then maybe before you do it in the morning, you fucking cleanse yourself. Maybe you use a tool like cinnamon, Palo Santo, sage, or what the fuck ever, incense of sorts. Use what you want to use. Or maybe you don't use any tool and you just remember that the power's inside of you. And you're like, I cleanse my fucking energy. And you connect with the ground, with the earth, with the sky, with whatever you believe. And that's your ritual. Because every day, if you do 1%, you know where I'm going with this. At the end of the year, if you do 1% every day, that might not feel very big that day, but guess how big that's going to be at the end of that year? 365%. Like it adds up. Every single thing adds up. So if you know that every single thing adds up, then why not make the things that are adding up something that you want them to add up to? Because you are the sum of all of your experiences. You are the sum of what you choose to do in your habits. So it might as well be a path and be daily commitments that you want. Okay, so get clear on making a simple daily ritual. Another thing with your daily embodiment practices is make a mantra. There was a mantra that I wrote down from the Brazen Sisterhood call that this is from, by the way. So if you want to do stuff like this with me every month and you want to dig in and you want to chit chat with me, join the Brazen Sisterhood. Levels 2, 3, and 4. Levels 2, 3, and 4 get monthly calls. Level 1 does not. 2, 3, and 4, join me in there and let's start doing monthly calls. But this mantra is one I wrote down from there. I trust myself to take aligned action. Maybe you just start saying that. I trust myself to take aligned action. Every day in front of the mirror, every day right before you brush your teeth, and then you brush your teeth and you do some squatties. What a perfect little routine and ritual. I trust myself to take aligned action. Brush, 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 squat, squat, squat. Easy peasy. And then last piece that I want to check in with you on is to check in often. Check in with yourself often. Reevaluate where you are. Be so honest with yourself. And if you need someone to check in with, again, that's where you reach out to a coach. That's where you reach out to your community. So, is there any other pieces? I think that's it. Did you love it? I bet you loved it. I'm sure you loved it. I think another piece that I want to do here, just like I did with the Brazen Sisterhood call, is pull an oracle. And of course, I'm using the Sacred Rebels Oracle, my freaking favorite. There's like 5 or 6 decks that I enjoy, but nothing has ever the Isis deck. Oh, just one please. The Isis deck, the same creator, same woman created that. I really love the Isis one. I was using the Isis one a lot when I was deeper into my soul work and spiritual work, doing some deep healing. And I like to use the Sacred Rebels one more for clients and for myself now as well. So just a heads up, if you're ever thinking about either of those two, they're very, very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the card. And if you do have the deck, you can just look up the number, which is fucking awesome. Or if you don't have this deck, you can just send me a message. I love that. It already fell out. You can just send me a message and I will send you not only a picture of the card, but also of whatever it says about it. So the card that fell out, and I'm going to let you know the intention that I placed before I started, just so you know. The intention that I placed with this poll is that it would help you be very, very clear on what to do now. What to do now. And sorry, I just like blanked out for a second because I was like, holy shit, is this the same? Because that was very much the same type of intention I set during the Brazen Sisterhood call. And I thought for a second it was the same fucking card that popped out. And I was going to be like, that's wild. I don't think it is though. But anyways, the intention was, what do you do now? So the words on these pages are going to guide you, hopefully, if you want the guidance. So it's number 6, shock of the new. How beautiful is that? Gorgeous. Okay. And like I always do, I'm just going to let a few of the lines pop out at me and I'll read those to you. If you want the whole thing, let me know. And I will again share this because it seems to be something people really enjoy talking about, like the practices. When I say that I'm letting it pop out at the page at me, you know those like old school like what were they called? Those books where you like just stared at the whole page and then until the image popped out at you. What the fuck were those things called? That's kind of what I do. Just so you know. Okay. I set the intention. I connect above and below. I connect with only unconditional love because I only want that kind of fucking energy around me. And then I just ask that the whatever I'm meant to tell you pops up out the page at me, and then it fucking does. Like magic. Because we're all magic. Okay. So shock of the new. What do we got here? Ooh. Okay. The shock will transform into great joy and a sense of tremendous liberation, but you must bear the strangeness first. That strangeness might be something that rattles your beliefs about yourself and your world, daring you to become more of yourself, more open to where life is leading you, and more willing to be the unique sacred art being crafted by the hand of the universal creator. Damn, love that. Okay, what else? Okay, to read a little bit more comes up. Nature never shies away from strange beauty. She allows for endless diversity, and her sacred works are often peculiar and stunning. You live within her field of creative grace as a specifically created work that also creates. You are being asked to surrender any fear that you may have of being seen as exotic, unusual, eccentric, or bizarre. Well, love that for us. I'm going to claim this card right now, too. Okay, let me see if there's anything on this page. And then it also has a healing process. Every card has a healing process, and I'd love to send that to you if you want it. All right, so there is just a few sentences that are popping up. Don't be nervous if the rumble of change turns into a mighty roar that rocks boats, bursts forth as a novel idea, and changes things in a way that is out of your control. This is life happening. Free fall into it. The oracle of shock of the new comes to you saying the old way is on its way out. You are being invited, dragged, nurtured, and coerced into new. You can handle it. Delicious. Fucking delicious. So, reminder, if you're like, yo, I need to know all the rest of it because there's so much more that it says in there, remember to tell me, hey, Heather, it's number 6 from the Rebels deck. Okay, number 6. Don't just say shock of the new because I don't know all of them. I mean, I could figure it out, but if you want quick response, tell me number 6 from the Rebels deck. Okay. All right. Oh, that was fun. I hope you join us in Women Rising if you want to do this for 4 days in different ways with guest speakers and different topics and different exercises and women from all over the world. I hope you join us in the Brazen Sisterhood too if you want to start having monthly calls where we do stuff like this every single month with different themes and different topics. I would love for you to be there. And let's go ahead and round this out with what we always round out with, ending this show. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others, especially as we are here in the US, we're in the holiday season now. And with so many big changes happening in the world, like it just, all about you, elder millennial, and feel like a few years, something has happened that's just been a shockwave. And I am just in a space now, like recently, I don't know if you're aware, probably, but recently the United States government and many other governments were like, yo, there's aliens in the ocean. And we're like, so? You've got different shit to worry. Tell them hi. Tell them we said what's up, you know? And I just feel like the only thing that I can really do is to hold myself in a space of just kindness for others and just that's where I have to stay right now. And the more that I stay in that and the more that because I'm going to slip up because I'm human and I tell you that because I hope you give yourself the same grace and compassion. But I feel like especially through what many of us, if not all of us, have been living through and the shifts and the changes, just remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Sit in that space with me. There's going to be days where it's going to be that 20%, right? Live 80-20. Don't fucking strive for 100 because you're probably not going to reach it. And then you're just going to get down on yourself when you don't. So strive for 80-20. And then when you do better than that, you can fucking celebrate double time. Sometimes you're not going to be kind to yourself. That's that 20%. Sometimes you might accidentally roll your fucking eyes at someone. I've been there. Like, it's just, it's important to do your fucking best every single fucking day and to really do your best at being kind to yourself and being kind to others. Because at the end of the day, is there really anything else? Is there anything else than that? I mean, there is the stuff we talked about for sure, but like, that's what it really comes down to, man. Go out there this week with the holidays and all the weirdness and so many things constantly changing. Embrace it and just be more kind to yourself and just be more kind to others and see where that takes you. All right, I think that's it. I love you so much. I'm going to say it one last time. Go get your fucking seat for Women Rising and send me a message and I will send you your special code. I want you there. I want to see your face. I want to talk to you. I want to introduce you to so many cool fucking women. And remember, if you have a business, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you come to Women Rising, you're going to have an opportunity to share with thousands, not just the women that are going to be there live and then the women that are going to watch the replay, but also the women that are going to be purchasing this event for years and years to come. You are going to have an opportunity to speak about your business if you want to, which means you'll be able to reach thousands upon thousands of women internationally that are one day, hopefully 5 years from now, you get a fucking message and you're like, hey, who is this? And it's a woman who wants to be a client. And she's like, yeah, I just saw you on this Women Rising event that I got. And you're like, whoa, that was 5 years ago. It's my hope. My hope is that you speaking up about your business and Women Rising doesn't just help you open up that fucking throat energy center, open up that throat chakra a little bit, but also I hope that it helps you receive dream clients that have been looking for you for years to fucking come. All right. All right. Enough about that. I will see you very, very soon. Have a fantastic week and go be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Okay. I'll see you soon.